Here's some progress I did on my garden. Just finished putting up some garden cloth fabric over my little tunnels over my raised beds. I got my 3 little planters. Got red onion, cilantro, and garlic. And these are my 3 rows of corn. Got little solar lights for my pathway so I can see at night. Still gotta finish that last bed, but I ran out of rebars, what I'm using for the sides, little clamps and hose fittings and such, just to keep it in place and stop fuckers from getting in there. And then I have this little row cover. I'm using bamboo sticks actually. You gotta be careful though, because it can pierce it easily. It did one little hole, but I'm not worried about it. And yeah, it rained and it went through, so it does let water penetrate. I mean, it might throw a little puddle on top, but it will feed through eventually. And I just put some seedlings in there to stop the birds and little pests from getting in there and destroying them. And I used rocks to hold it down and dirt as well, but I think the rocks look a little neater and it's a little cleaner. And I get some really good winds coming through here. You'd be surprised, but I live in like a valley, so I have to put this stuff down pretty well so it doesn't, start catching a spot and start trying to take off. And then I put some mulch on the ground. Also have a cedar mulch inside these beds. Having a problem with fungus gnats, and they're everywhere. And so I'm hoping I can get rid of these somehow organically, and I'm going to cover these, and hopefully they won't like it in there, and the ones that are in there will just die, and the larvae will just die, and hopefully they don't reproduce, because I heard that they live like about 2 weeks or something, or longer. I don't know, but how long can they fucking live, right? But so far it's going pretty well. I'm excited. This is my first garden, and I also put cedar mulch in between the rows of corn. And this was all weed. This whole entire yard was weeds. I had to pick this whole thing by hand. Turn it over a little bit and take all the weeds out. And can't spray in here because I'm growing organically. All organic. No pesticides. No nutrients. Some nutrients, but organic. I mean, this is just my soil here out in Marietta, California, and you can see that the corn is, it's doing pretty good. This last row was planted at a later time, so they're not as big. It's my first one, so I want to do an experiment. So we'll see how it goes. But I had to thin out some of the corn. I had a couple growing in the same pot, same spots, and yeah, they're doing pretty good. I have some lettuce in here between the rows of corn. It kind of just grew, and I thought the birds would get it, but they didn't. They left it alone after a while. There's one head. I think it's a Vivian lettuce, and then there's a little one in between there if you see near the light, and then I got another one right there. I was growing radishes and little greens in here, but the birds were just relentless, and they would not leave them alone. As soon as they pop up, not even before they pop up, they were gone. These raised beds I'm going to let everyone know. If you have people that are growing nearby or anything like that, it's pretty much creating a bird feeder. That's how they look at it. That's how you pretty much train. These birds just know what you're doing in these things, and they just know that there's food in them. So it's like, if you're going to be doing raised beds, I encourage you. I don't really care where you are, but I encourage you, if you want to just do it safe, don't be sorry, just cover them up. Cover your raised beds proper way during summertime and wintertime, of course, because you got to get through the frost. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for the wintertime because there's less bugs, and I can use these covers, and I'll probably have more success because the bugs have been kind of a problem. I think the larvae from these fungus gnats are killing my roots from my seedlings and such like that, and preventing them to even grow and just die off. So, but the main problem was the birds, so I got some bird seed and put it around, and they've been kind of going towards the stuff that's easier to get to, which is the seed. But they still manage to get a taste for the stuff that's in here. So, I mean, I had a pigeon, or no, what was it? A dove, or not a dove? I don't know what it was, but it was up in here, big old bird, just hopping around my little beds. He didn't like the cilantro. They kind of pick at my chives every now and then, but they, now I know what they like and dislike and what I can get away with out here. But lettuce is a no-go. As soon as it's small enough that they'll just eat it. And so I didn't realize how much of a pest problem it could be to grow food, because they just love the food. As soon as you bring grown food around here, it's just, they come soaring right for it. So I mean, I've grown marijuana before. I'm a grower. I like to grow. I got a green thumb, and I'll tell you right now, this is a different ball game. Growing food is a different ball game. It is a lot harder. So all of those who think you can grow, try to grow some vegetables and food. I mean, it might be easier where you are. Every place is different problems, but it's a problem. It's a challenge, and so far I've been doing the best I can to manage this thing, and so far so good. Corn, things don't really like to eat corn apparently, because this shit's thriving. I mean, the birds try to peck it when it's small, but I think it got them out here earlier enough to where they were just like, and then they had birds up in this pine tree that hatched these eggs and shit, and I think they all took off, but this bird was just live of birds. But, watch your trees in your yard. If you got birds, do what you gotta do. I haven't come to the point where I have to shoot them, which is something last resort, but they were really fucking with me, man. I mean, they were talking to each other. I could hear them talking. As soon as I'd be going to my garden, they knew what I was doing, trying to cover it up, and as soon as I leave, try to get up in there. They're smart. So you gotta be smarter than the birds. But yeah, this is a little progress, and there's much more to come. I mean, I have a lot of seedlings going right now, so I'm starting them inside so they get to a certain size before I put them in these beds, because I'm not taking any chances. These are some peas. I managed to go through the battle from the birds and the bugs. They made it through, and somehow they didn't like the peas as much. I mean, they did attack them when they were young, but they grew so fast they just gave up on them, and now they're just growing faster than they can be eaten, I guess. so good. Peas are doing good, but I'm happy for this back row so far. I put seeds down 2 days ago, and I already have pop-ups and no bird activity trying to get in there. No rocks have been really moved, dirt pushed away from the row cover, so everything seems to be a success in there. And I got blue dwarf kale, I think, or dwarf kale. I got red Russian kale. Got some red onions in there. I got some iceberg lettuce that I have been having a challenge growing out here because of the birds. And I also got, I can't even remember. A lot of other greens and stuff like that. I just can't remember. I kind of just started tossing stuff down. I got so excited when I got this thing. I was like, yeah, I'm going to just grow a bunch of stuff in here. What grows, grows, and what doesn't, doesn't. I probably might thin out some of them, but I might just let them grow, just because I've had such a struggle trying to get them to go, and I don't even care as long as they grow. There'll be something to eat. So, yep. The rest of this will be, I'm probably going to do tomatoes, because they're going to be growing up as well. That's why I have the beans along this back end, so they can actually grow up this fence like a chalice. And then I think this one's going to be full of peppers. I'm also going to put cucumber in here too with the tomatoes. But this will be majority of peppers and maybe a little bit of lettuce or something like that. Maybe mixed greens or a Swiss chard, I'm not sure. I wish I could get some dinosaur kale, but man, everywhere I go around here I can't find it, and I really don't want to order or anything. didn't travel too far to a nursery to find some, but this will be just like microgreens. I'm gonna do my radishes this time, and hopefully I'll get a success out of it. Some carrots. I'm gonna do my parsley. I'm gonna do that again. I like my parsley. I also will do. I had something else growing here. I think another type of lettuce and my mixed greens I'll do in here. A lot of greens and spinach as well. My spinach. I had a hard time getting that thing to grow here. As soon as they came, birds ate it. They love spinach. Baby spinach. So, yep. I thought I'd give the world a little view of what I'm doing, and how everything's coming out for my first garden. I like it. It's pretty cool, As soon as everything starts growing in here, I'll probably spend more time. I'm going to do something over here as well. Maybe some more rows in the ground or something like that for some greens. Next year I probably won't do as much corn. So, everyone, you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching. Tune in for more. Bye.